Hey, hey.
What's up?
I got a special delivery for you.
Oh, mailman dropped this off. Nice.
What do we got going on here?
Well, since we're doing Batman next week, that detective, this is some good stuff in here, some Batman-related material.
All right, let's go check it out.
Let's check it out.
What's good? You're watching the Best Damn Comic Show, episode 24. I am Gian Perez. With me, as always, is Mr. Cat Jercan. It is the big week, Detective Comics number 1000, and today's episode will be mostly dedicated to Batman. So, Cat's got a box of CGCs here, and
right.
he exactly knows what's inside of it.
This is one of my friends. He loves CGC, and we did this, and again, talking about Batman and Batman, detective, we got Batman Damned CGCs. We got 4 books.
Still a hot book.
Still a hot book, man. Low print run, and the fact that they're not reprinting the book is definitely helping. I don't know if number 2 had some kind of suspenseful image, would have been better. This book would have been hotter, but nonetheless, we'll see what number 3 brings.
I think the censored Harley boobs really killed
that.
it.
That last scene was supposed to be, definitely more shocking than what we saw. But let's see, maybe number 3. Like I remember what I said a while back. 2, a lot of people still have number 2s. Are they cutting down their issue 3? And if they do, is DC panicking and say, you know what, screw it, let's just put something there. In there. Let's see what we got here. We got this is the variant cover, the Jim Lee variant cover. He got a 9.6 on this. We were talking, I mean, this is a tough book to grade because they're so perfect. So it's like, I look at it as like, why was there 9.6? I mean, I don't know. So who knows? Who knows? We have the regular cover. We have 2 copies at 9.8. And again, what's the difference between 9.8 and a 9.6 on this book? Because again, they're just incredible. It came out of the print like near perfect, and because of the format.
Why did they come out so clean?
Because the format, they were packed in separate boxes. I mean, it was probably packed in a box by itself rather than with all the other titles, shuffled and handled. Right. And it's a cardstock. It's thick. The only problem is because it has a coating, there's a lot of scratching. I mean, you don't see it unless you tilt the book, but that could be the difference between the 9.6 and the 9.8, or in this instance, a 9.9. And he got a 9.9 on this, and he's gonna be happy when he sees this. I mean, but there's a lot of 9.9s. That there's you were saying when your buddy
of mine's got a 10.0,
and I've seen a lot of I've seen 10s and 9.9s on this. But yeah, this is a beautiful book. Oh, and I love it. The 9.9s are in gold, because I got a 9.9.
You gotta make it extra special.
Well,
man.
I got a 9.9 on my detective, the new 52 number 27. I sent a couple to Jim Lee variant, and one of them came back 9.9, but it was regular black ink. But this, I guess they switched it to gold. So yeah, 9.9 on this book. I don't know if he's up for sale, but knowing him, he's probably gonna keep it for a while. But yeah, nice load.
Oh, so these are for Patrick?
No, not Patrick. This is for my friend Mike. I don't think Patrick graded any of these.
Not yet.
No, I don't even know if he has any of these.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
But yeah, this is a nice.
Well, it's a great way.
It's a great to start
the show off with these Batman Damn slabs.
So yeah, let's.
So let's talk about Batman and Detective Comics 1000.
I moved here back in '82 from Romania. So my exposure to comics, and I think I mentioned this before, was the '70s Spider-Man TV show, the Superman movie, and the Star Wars movie. But it wasn't enough for me to go, oh, we had no comic book exposure, nothing. So I moved here. It's like, okay. I mean, I didn't find that I didn't know comics existed. I just knew the properties. And the one thing that got me hooked on comics was G.I. Joe, because of the cartoon. And then the cartoon said, if you want to read the further adventures, go to Walden Books and buy the Marvel made, the comic. I was like, oh, great. So having that first exposure to comics being a Marvel brand, I mean, I tend to flow towards Marvel, but everybody loves Batman. Everybody loves Batman. Your kid loves Batman, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna completely.
Oh, I mean, look, I watch the cartoons. I mean,
I am not a DC guy. I was always a Marvel guy growing up, except for Batman, because Batman was the one character in a world of overpowered characters where everyone was a god. Batman was just a regular guy who had to use his smarts and his technology to compete with these guys.
And that's what I said. I mean, he's powerful. Batman is that fucking powerful. He doesn't have to compete. He can take anybody down anytime he wants.
Right, but it's the process that he uses to take these people down. It's not a simple like one panel.
Oh no,
to the
he's
next,
calculated. He's the greatest detective.
Yeah, the whole book is him figuring out the strategy. But what I like about Batman, and I don't know if you disagree with me or not, Batman has the best rogues gallery of any comic book character.
Oh no, he definitely has.
I mean, you could name them all. Like Spider-Man's got a great rogues gallery, but I can't name half of the guys. You know, I see these Spider-Man villain
Well, I
books
mean,
that comes
it's
out,
literally
and I'm like,
Sinister Six. I mean, that's his main squad: Green Goblin, Doc Ock, the Vulture, you know, Sandman, Scorpion. Basically, the first. Going back to '63, all those first appearances. That's pretty much
me
it.
personally, I don't care about any of them except for Doc Ock. I think the rest of them are kind of lame. But Batman, just his original ones. You got the Joker, obviously, like arguably the greatest villain ever.
Right.
You got the Penguin. You got the Riddler. You got Scarecrow.
Killer Croc.
And this is where we're not even talking about the newer ones. We're not talking about Bane. We're not talking about Hush. You know.
I mean, Harley Quinn.
I mean,
you know, Catwoman.
Catwoman, exactly.
You know,
Poison Ivy.
you can go down the line. There's, you know, the Calendar Man. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you flip through back issues of Detective and Batman. You're like, wow. You know, Black Mask. You know, the what was that storyline Brubaker did back in the '90s? I think was at No Man's Land. I mean, that's another great Batman story. No Man's Land. It was phenomenal. You know, so there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good in Batman.
You got this great stuff, and all the properties that are offshoots of Batman. The animated series is still one of my favorites around. There's so much great stuff in there.
They did.
You know, and the action figures, there's great toys. I mean, there's so much. You know, you might not be a fan of the movies, but you know, I like the first two movies with Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, yeah,
you know,
they're great. You
even
know.
the 1960s, you know, the TV show.
And I met Batman in my shop. I was like,
I mean, you got the signed picture right there.
I mean, signed my book, you know, and I was like, whoa, Batman's. I said, holy shit, Batman's in my store. And he started laughing, you know. It's like, no, Batman is. I mean, Batman is as iconic as apple pie is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's one of those characters. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. I mean, it's like you say Batman, you know people know who Batman is. You don't have to read a comic book because the movies, whatever, the cartoons, Batman is in every dictionary, basically.
But if I wanted to pick, if I was completely new to Batman and never heard of him before, what is a run that you would suggest? I know you talked Hush.
That's objective to the person that you ask.
Right.
You know, I've always said when people ask me, what do you like? I go, dude, it's hard for me to tell you what I like because I own every comic book. I'm not budgeted by, you know, I'm not stuck with the budget that I only have $20. I got to spend my money on the best books and I have to read, oh, this guy says this guy's the best. You know what I mean?
But gun to your head, if you had to pick a run.
I'd have to say Hush.
Okay.
Hush is probably just, again, story, art, the return of Jason Todd. I mean, and the Red Hood. Now because of that, you got Red Hood, another badass character. You know what I mean? You know, so I would have to say Hush. After that, you know, year one. I mean, there's, you know, No Man's Land. There's a ton. You know, Breaking of the back.
Right.
And
that's for me.
Silly as that was, because you look back, you're like, but it was damn good. You had Azrael come out of that. There's so many other good books, but for me, I'd have to say Hush is probably the best.
As for me, as a '90s kid, Nightfall is definitely the one that I would recommend to people. Because it's Bane, because you get Azrael out of it, and that was like it was a major point.
Oh, it was crazy. I remember that run. I mean, I was in business that early.
It was taking a risk that no one was expecting at the time. You know, breaking the Bat's back, you know, which now if they do stuff like this, like every other week, it seems
somebody breaks a leg,
somebody dies,
loses their conscience, like the memory. They got shot by bullets, so now he's Rick Grayson rather than Dick Grayson. He's a taxi driver.
It's like it's like pro wrestling now, where they used to a regular move used to be a finishing move. but now it's just a transitional move. You know, the DDT used to be
That's it. You're
end
out.
of it. Now it's a middle of the match move. You know, and you got to do something completely crazy now to get people's excited around.
No, I'm curious to see. I mean, they're talking about the new movies. I don't know if you heard they're now the movies are set in the 90s. The new directors, they're setting the story back to the 90s.
I mean, that's another story in itself. You know, that's another conversation
Topic.
for another day.
But Batman is Batman.
Yeah.
Batman is, there's no other, just Batman.
Well,
That's
and
it.
I don't even know how to close this out other than saying happy 1,000th episode.
I just hope the book is
happy 1,000th
issue.
Happy 1,000th issue, Batman, and hope to see a lot more out of you. Let's get into some picks of the week.
The one book I'm looking forward to, and I've been loving this book, and I keep saying, is Freedom Fighters. Robert Venditti, man, the guy is one of those unspoken heroes, kind of, because he's doing good work on these characters. I love the characters. I love the reboot. It's short, commitment. Not it's 12 issues, I believe.
Right.
Short commitment to it. But I'm looking forward to that, and keep telling people, watch out for Marvel. Every week, we talk about 90% of the books coming out of Marvel sold out. Last week I mentioned Avengers No Road Home. It was sold out at Midtown before it shipped, right?
Yep.
I mean, book is jumping on the secondary market. Some stores still have it in stock, some stores don't. Guys are coming in, and I got phone calls. Hey, how many can you sell me? I was like, I'm not selling you quantity. You know what I mean? Savage Avengers coming out in a couple of months. Again, Conan and current timeline. Watch out. Next week we got Avengers number 7, No Road Home. Number 6 sold out. Is number 7. I mean, I think number 7 is already going to back order.
Number 7 is important too, because in number 6 he still hasn't jumped over.
He hasn't.
To
Well,
6,
he hasn't.
616 yet.
Number 6 is basically the villain Nyx. She finds Wanda and him, but now you get to see him fighting along Wanda and along probably what other Avengers are going to pop in. So you're getting your first taste of Conan as an Avenger. Amazing Spider-Man. How do you follow up from 10, 12 years of Dan Slott? I mean, it's been great. The Red Goblin. Dude, I'm loving Nick Spencer on this book. This hunted storyline with Kraven the Hunter, and then his kid, which is like psychotic, and they kill all his brothers. I mean, it's crazy, selling out. Watch out for that. Daredevil number 3. Really solid storytelling. I think, in my opinion, one of the most underappreciated characters right now, or writers, is Mark Waid. He's doing a really solid job on Doctor Strange. I mean, I'm loving this whole expansion to the universe and the magic, and whatever magic he uses, he's borrowing from somebody, and they're collecting. And I mean, Doctor Strange is badass right now. Is really good. Talking about Dan Slott, FF. A lot of people are like, well, no. Dude, we haven't had an FF book in years. It's not gonna. Don't undermine this book. Last issue, Doom on against Galactus. I mean, keep an eye out for that. Invaders. I mean, there's so many books. Namor's going berserkers. I'm loving that. You got Hulkverines. You have X-Force. I mean, there's so many good books. And X-Force number 5, I mean, this whole Kid Cable thing and the chemistry between him and Cyclops and every other character that's used to the older Cable with the arm, and they're like, well, you are Cable, but you're not Cable. It's a great book. And the one book that, I own a copy, but a lot of people don't. They're doing a remastered edition of Hulk 181.
Oh, yeah.
The replica, if you don't own it, buy it. That's my pick for the week, is this Hulk 181, given how crazy the actual comic is.
Those reprints seem to go up too.
It's nuts.
It's insane. The True Believers one, people just want to get
Hulk
their hands on that book.
And this is going to be it's part of their replica version, where they literally reprint the book exactly to the ads, the letters, and everything else. So I don't know. I don't know how many dealers are going to order the book, but it is Hulk 181.
Well, I'm going to get one.
Yeah. Hopefully I got enough copies to cover you. I think I do. But yeah, that's my picks. And there's a lot more other books, but these are the ones that I'm going to look forward to reading next week. And again, this is what I'm reading. You know what I mean? I don't want people going, what?
All right, well, variants of the week. This week I got 5 books. First one is Batman Beyond, number 30. I never pick Batman Beyond
Ben
books.
Oliver.
But the Ben Oliver cover.
Jeez.
Follow this guy on Instagram because the stuff, like, he's letting you know what covers are coming out, and it's amazing stuff.
I mean,
he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
A beautiful, beautiful book. The Detective 1000, there's 75 million covers. You got store exclusives. You know, Midtown's got a couple nice ones, but they're asking $20-$30 a pop. And this book is a $9 book, like $8.50 or something. Which
is it $7.99 or
no,
$8.99? Oh, they bumped that up.
Yeah, it's almost $9. So
because Detective, I mean, Action Comics 1000 was $8. Oh, so they went up then.
Yeah, it's an expensive book. So there's a million covers. Pick the one you like. I personally, I like the concept. Like every cover is like a different decade of Batman. I like the modern one with Greg Capullo. I think he's done great artwork. I have a lot of the Greg Capullo's signature series.
And they have better choice of artists, I think, for this particular book for the decades.
Action Comics covers were
lackluster.
Yeah, they weren't the best, but this is they got some good stuff. So pick the one you like. Me personally, I like the Greg Capullo one. Then you got Shazam number 4. It's a Jim Lee cover. I'm picking this one, not specifically because it's such an amazing cover, but I can't tell you. Has Jim Lee ever done a Shazam cover before?
Yeah, when he did the Justice League 52.
Okay.
But it's the hooded Shazam.
Right.
It's the 52 Shazam.
This is a movie version of Shazam. The movie's coming out in 2 weeks, so I think it's a cool concept, and Jim Lee fans are going to be all over this book. I think I might be wrong, but probably not. And then Spawn $2.95. Matina. So it's just an amazing variant by Matina, and I know he's still catching some flack for whatever that scandal he was a part of.
It's okay, because they're going to chase these books.
Exactly.
And they're sold out. They're selling out.
And Kat will tell you, like, some of these Spawn back issues are, like, they're hard to come by. The print runs are real limited, but there's still a fan base for the character. He's a big 90s guy.
Well, the movie's coming up. He's working on the movie.
Oh, there you go as well. That's right.
It's
a horror concept,
a horror concept. Roadhouse picked it up. He's given them, it's already shot, I think.
It's Blumhouse, right?
I thought it was Roadhouse.
Is it Blumhouse?
I don't know. But either way, he's not signing right now because he is busy with the movie. But I think it's supposed to be done next year. Like, I don't know when, but yeah, Spawn.
He's a 90s favorite. Like, that's the original Image book. So these covers are beautiful, and they're not big runs.
Look,
hold on to.
He's again one of those names where the minute he bought the Mark McGuire baseballs, and Spawn became a household name across this world because it was on every TV channel, and it had big old Spawn.com right beyond. So everybody knows Spawn, you know what I mean? But again, low print run, Matina. This last few Matina covers on those books are hard to come by.
Yep. And then finally, we got one ratio book this week. It's Age of X-Men Extremist number 2. It's a Jenny Frison cover. You guys know if you've been watching the show.
Jenny Frison.
But it's Psylocke on the cover as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Psylocke's another one of those 90s characters that has a big cult following. So I feel like the women variant covers seem to do well after a few years. Like, those are the ones that people chase after more than anything else.
It's funny because Marvel announced they're going to focus more on female characters and movies and stuff. I mean, why now? Because prior to the Fox deal, they didn't have a lot of strong female characters.
That's true.
Now you're getting the X-Men. You got Psylocke. You got Storm. You got a lot of female characters. There's so much you can do.
You got Jean Grey. You got Rogue.
You
go deep. You got Polaris if you want to go into that.
You're gonna see a lot of X-Men related movies.
And I'm wondering how, if at all, like the Scarlet Witch is gonna change now that you got Magneto.
Well, no, they're gonna be mutants. So I think because they're getting a show on Hulu, I believe. So it's
that's right.
It's gonna be her, so it's gonna be Vision and the Scarlet Witch, and she is a mutant. Officially, she's gonna be a mutant.
Okay. Well,
so there we be.
Let's see what happens. But anyways, that's gonna do it for our picks this week. Let's talk some shop.
Let's do this.
All right, man. So I don't know if you heard this. I don't know if you're hard up for money right now, but you could get paid $1,000 to marathon the Marvel movies before Endgame comes out.
Marathon and where?
I think at a theater. You gotta go to the theater.
Oh, I gotta go to the theater and watch.
You gotta watch every single one. And
No,
you get
I'm
paid $1,000.
I love those movies, but I'm good. I got a life. I got a life. I've been watching them here. You know,
you would do it for $1,000?
Nah, bro. It's easier as a way to make $1,000 than that. Yeah, no.
The best part about this is it's a contest, so you have to submit the reason why they select you to be that person to sit in the
Let me
theater
end
for
this
36
conversation.
hours.
I'm 50 years old, going on 51 with the wife, 3 kids, a business. No. I'll marathon it here when at my leisure. Hey, look, if you have the time, the ass power, and everything else, you know, go for it. You got nothing else going on in your life, which most people do. Go for it. It's $1,000. You know, $1,000 on a. Finally, Marvel's giving you something back. $1,000 for all the support.
I guess you get a bunch of swag and stuff too.
They're good. You can put that shit on eBay.
I wonder if it's like a marathon thing though. Like if you fall asleep, boom, no
You're
money.
done. I know.
You know what kind of?
Are they gonna feed you?
I'm
Is there potty breaks?
I'm sure there's a break in between movies. I know Mark Bernardin. He's a writer. He did the one for Infinity Wars.
Okay.
And
What do you mean? They
did
one
a
for-
marathon, but you didn't get paid. This was like you had to pay to do it.
All right.
And he said by the time they got to like the 18th
You know
hour,
most guys own the Blu-rays, right? So you can do the marathon at home, and they already paid them.
It's the point of the marathon is because you get to watch Infinity Wars.
No, I know, but I'm talking about last.
release.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah.
I mean, you can marathon it at home, but is it the same? You're with your fellow nerds next to you. You're all fighting to stay
Bro,
awake.
I spend time with you all day fucking long. I don't want to spend any more time with you. You know.
But speaking of Marvel, you were talking about we didn't get to it in the earlier segment, but Agent Venom looks like they're developing a TV show.
Yeah,
right?
but this is Marvel. I don't think it's Sony.
Well, that's the only thing I ask, is that it's part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I
because
believe so.
This Sony thing has got to stop. You guys watched that piece of shit Venom movie. They're gonna make another one now. I mean, the cartoon was great. You know, that's a
But it's a cartoon. It has to be great. It's not live action. Stop. We can argue at this point all day long. I mean, I'm right. It's a cartoon. There's so much. What are you gonna do? Oh I can't do it. Oh no.
I mean, you gotta get the right voice actors, and then
It's not that fucking hard.
oh my, is it not that hard?
No, obviously it wasn't that hard.
A lot of shitty cartoons out there, man.
Well, for this one, it wasn't that hard. They got it right probably on the first try.
There's a lot of bad cartoons out there, man.
Dude, Marvel's involved. They're not getting it wrong. Well, I'm not gonna say Captain Marvel, but anyway, you know. But yeah, no. I heard it's Marvel. I don't think it's Sony. So has something changed?
Honestly, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if there's a loophole in the contract that they have with.
Because then that means that that
Sony.
first appearance of Agent Venom, that should be blowing up pretty soon. I mean, it was a hot book to begin with, but now that should be going up pretty soon, a lot higher than what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's a property and it's good, you know, because as we've seen, the Netflix books haven't really gone up in value, because those shows, you know, other than the Punisher, you could make your. I like Punisher, Daredevil, the other ones.
No, Punisher, they're doing great. I mean,
We're okay,
Luke Cage
but
was
even
right,
then-
but at least my least favorite one was Jessica Jones.
Worse than Iron Fist?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
You're the only person on the planet that liked Iron
Bro,
Fist more than Jessica Jones.
The only reason Jessica Jones was watchable, I haven't seen season 2 yet, but the first season, the only reason that show is watchable is for the Purple Man. If it wasn't for the Purple Man, I'd be like, oh my God, this is a snoozer. Could tell me.
Agree
why?
to disagree.
No, you agree.
I like Jessica Jones.
Why did you like Jessica
more than
Jones?
Luke Cage?
Why did you like Jessica Jones?
Because it was dark. It was the
Why was
darkest
it
one.
dark?
Because Purple Man.
Purple
had-
Man, thank you very much. End the conversation.
Oh,
But it wasn't.
what does
but
that have to do with anything? How does that make it a
she
bad
sucks.
show? Oh,
No,
the
but
villain was
she-
awesome, so the
But
show
that was
sucked.
but that was the whole reason it was watchable, because of the villain.
I mean,
He hit it.
it's a superhero show. It had a strong
She's
villain.
boring. She can't. She's like Brie Larson or what's her name as Mystique.
Have you even seen Captain Marvel yet?
Tomorrow night.
Okay.
I mean Saturday night.
I'm gonna pull a line out of Daniel's handbook. I don't want to hear you say anything about the movie until you watch
Who's
it.
Daniel?
Daniel's the guy behind the camera right now.
Yes, an awesome guy. Hi, Daniel.
On to DC news. So James Gunn says this new Suicide Squad is a complete, total reboot, and it seems to be the case throughout the the Warner Brothers DC franchise. Like everything's getting
I
completely
think they're
erased.
basically at this point they just said, "Fuck it, you want to do it, no rhyme or reason," because they just can't get a break. They can't get a continuity going. They can't get anything decent.
Is that a better strategy, do you think? Like just saying, hey,
No, to
making
me,
these one-off movies, like just make a good movie as opposed to trying to connect this universe together.
Yeah, I think it's desperation because they're getting killed overall. You know what I mean? Look, Aquaman, and yeah, made a lot of money, but that movie blows.
Wasn't a good movie, no.
Exactly. So I mean, they're. I think they're at the point where it's like, again, throw my hands up in the air. Fuck it, just do it. See what happens. I give everybody, and that could bite you in the ass because, as fans, we love continuity. If I'm not a movie-going audience, I mean, if I'm not a comic book audience, I want, even like if you're gonna do trilogies in a bigger universe, I want continuity. Fast and Furious. I love those movies. Why? Because there's continuity. I can skip Tokyo Drift, but even that has a continuity tie-in at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Lord of the Rings. I mean, you can go on John Wick. You know, The Matrix. I mean, continuity gets me back for a sequel for the bigger picture. You know what I mean? When you don't do that, you could get that one again with James Gunn with Suicide Squad 2. Okay, you're doing one and then you're back at Marvel. So you'll like I said, you know, you'll hit it because it's James Gunn. Then you have, I guess,
They're gonna bring in another director to finish off the rest of the films. Probably.
I guess Will Smith's out, so they're looking at Idris Elba, and if that's the case, I mean, he's such much better actor than I can take him as he can give me a lot, a dead shot, probably close to what he should act like. You know what I mean? But other than that, hit and miss.
We'll see what happens. You got Shazam coming out pretty soon. That's gonna. I feel like that could set the table for a lot. I'm wondering if that's a good movie and successful, if they're gonna use that as a blueprint. But because I feel like right now they have no idea what they're doing.
No, they don't.
They're just taking shit and throwing it against the wall.
But what I've heard is that Shazam is like a Nickelodeon. It's like literally geared at kids, kind of like a Nickelodeon show.
Is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. But if that's successful, I mean, now you're gonna, because again, you look at, they tried to copy Marvel and a lot of things, and all of a sudden they're gonna copy this, and can you translate that to any other property they have?
This is true.
You see what I'm saying? Because they literally have, Warner Brothers / DC has no faith in their brand, in the product. And you look, why do I say that? Because look at the casting choices, look at the directors, look at story, look at everything. They don't have faith in their product. Marvel has 100% faith in their product.
And I mean, actors are taking L's too. It looks like Henry Cavill's not going to be back as Superman. They've basically fired Cyborg. He's not coming back.
Was he? I haven't even seen Justice League. Is he that important?
No.
Is he replaceable?
He's just terrible CGI guy.
Exactly.
Ezra Miller.
Would I want that on my freaking resume? Terrible CGI guy? No.
Well, Ezra Miller is actually writing a script with Grant Morrison to try to save his job as Flash, because apparently they're thinking about scrapping the Flash solo film as well. I mean, it's
desperation. Grant Morrison, really? You want Grant Morrison writing a script? Please read Green Lantern right now and tell me if it makes any sense.
It's a desperation move, and I hope they can figure it out, because they have the rights to every single character in the universe.
How can you fuck it up? You own the rights and you can't get it right. To where Marvel didn't own 3/4 of their properties, and they managed to do what they have, and they did it right.
I mean, it's kind of like you said, like Marvel makes you stick to the character. Like you can't.
They give you the character.
You can't vary off very far from the essence of the character. Where in DC was like, here, take it, do whatever you want with it. And it hasn't worked. But sticking to DC, so Titans on the DC network, the app. They are pushing hard. Last week we talked about Isai Morales being cast as Deathstroke.
Right.
Well, they cast Ravager and they cast his son. So they're this next season of Titans is going to be very Deathstroke heavy.
Well, you're going to get what was that story? I mean, there's so many storylines they can do with the Deathstroke, from Judah's contract to I mean, whatever. There's so much pull you can do that. I mean, who's Deathstroke? He's freaking Punisher. I mean, he's a badass. You know what I mean? You know, he's not even a villain. He's just, well, you got the money, I'll work for you. He has, a limit, but he's badass. I haven't seen anything because I don't want to put it on my TV and I can't, and I don't want to watch anything on my phone. So I haven't seen it, but I hear good things about the Titans on the DC online thing. I hear good things about that show.
What I like about this move is that they're going hard. Like, they're really trying to push this product, and I think, we've seen Deathstroke one time on Arrow. He was, in and out of 2 seasons.
But this is going to be
the
DC version, not the CW version.
And they said it's violent. Like, they said the Titan show is some people are like surprised by how violent the show is. So a violent Deathstroke, that's what it's all about.
Does
right?
Deathstroke come in with the bouquet of flowers, say, here, I'm about to kill you? No, he comes in, pow, pow, slash, whatever he does.
No questions asked.
Bombs, shit. He's not going to sit there and like, well, listen, I'm about to kill you. So how do you want to do this? You want to have a cup of coffee first? You want to talk about what you did wrong? No. It's like bullet to the head. Done.
Good stuff. And finally, I think this is kind of bad news for all of us who grew up He-Man fans. They've decided to cast, they're talking about putting out a He-Man movie, and they cast, allegedly, this kid right here to play He-Man.
Who is Noah Centineo?
I have no idea. I guess he had done a bunch of like kid rom-com films on Nickelodeon and whatnot. But
well, it could be a move that, he kind of looks like, blonde hair. It could be a move to get. Look, what I always say.
I need to see this guy. How tall is he? How much does he weigh?
But listen, what do I always say about my industry, bro? Why am I hurting? There's no kids in my industry. Nothing that's 70s, 80s, even early 90s relative to any of the new generation. They don't know who half this shit is. So if you're bringing me somebody that's been in a bunch of Nickelodeon shows that has a different audience.
This is true.
And he can pull it, if they can pull it. Because Dolph Lundgren...
No.
No. But if they can pull
that
it...
That was a bad movie.
Yeah, but if they can give me a good story that can please... Because you do want to get my money, because I'm your first line of dollars.
You want to bridge the gap between generations.
And if you can give me a good story, give me a good cast, everything, and bring in a new generation of buyers to the brand, man, I think that's job well done, But those factors have to be. It has to be a good story, and it has to be 80-90% true to the product, bro.
Right.
It has. I hate to say this, and people can comment and say, "Oh, you're a Marvel fan." It has to follow the Marvel formula.
Well, it's not, because it's being made by Sony.
But what I'm saying... Oh. He-Man, you don't have the power. Damn.
But Mattel is also involved, so, who knows what kind of influence they're going to have.
If they have the control like Marvel has with Spider-Man, then it could be a good thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, it's not a bad choice to cast somebody that you and I don't know, but millions of other kids know. Because you want that next, you want the product to live on, and you want the next generation of consumer in your shop, toy store, whatever the hell it is.
And that's a good point. Like, I sometimes
we get selfish.
Yeah, we don't think of it that way. But, Disney's doing it with Star Wars. They're really trying to bridge the gap between generations. Although there's a lot of older Star Wars fans unhappy. But, I think the kids really are into it.
That's the future, man.
Yeah.
That's the future. But
like even Daniel likes the prequels. So.
But Daniel, we talked about Daniel,
Anyways, guys.
A haircut, a shave,
That's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Smash that like button, leave comments, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, ring the bell if you are, and we will see you next time. Take us away, Kat. Sorry.
I always say, go out, buy comics, support print, introduce. We just saw the show talking about a new generation of kids. If you're into comics, Whether you're young, old, introduce a friend, introduce a kid.
Take them to shows.
Take them to shows, man. I mean, do something on a Sunday. Instead of sitting there playing video games, you know what? Go on Groupon, buy a ticket for WonderCon or any other convention. Just go out, introduce somebody new to this world. That way, these characters keep on living, whether it's on print, on TV, or whatever. But get out there and support your local comic book stores and support print.
We'll see you next time.